to have a guest of honor who moved to Boise a year ago, who has the good, the bad, the ugly, the raw truth about Boise. He actually has some things that he totally disagrees with me about. So that's one of the reasons we chose him, is because, a lot of what you see about from us people is so biased that Boise's this perfect little oasis, and that it's the best place on earth, and it is. And Travis is going to tell you why this place is good, but he's also going to provide some real raw insight of what this place really is like for him. Travis is great. He's always been one to speak his opinion, and he's got a great way of doing it. But before we get Travis up on screen, remind you of what we're doing here every other Tuesday. Well, first and third Tuesday of the month, we go live talking about the market on the third Tuesday, and then this first Tuesday we try to do something different and talk. And this time we've chosen to bring on somebody who's actually moved. And you guys know what it's like. There's a lot of stress. There's a lot of logistics. There's a lot of change that goes on to make it so that you guys do this successfully. And then there's a lot on your mind of why you're trying to do this. Some people it's job change. Some people it's political climate change. Some people it's climate change, and not in the sense of the ozone being destroyed. But there's a lot of reasons and a lot of things that you guys are juggling in your head. So Travis is going to give his insight, and it might relate to you. It might not. Some of it will, some of it won't, but I think you'll get a very good idea. Remind you guys of who I am. I am Brian Hymas, born and raised here in Boise. And when I say Boise, the Boise Valley, right? So I had a Boise address growing up. I went to Meridian High Schools, Meridian churches. I moved to Middleton for a year, then Meridian, Boise area for a few years. And then over to Eagle for the last 7. And then for the last month and a half, I've been in Middleton. So we're absolutely loving, I'm about to sneeze. We're absolutely loving thank you. I know all you said, bless you. We're absolutely loving it out here, but real estate's been my thing for the last 5 or 6 years. And before that, I was an appraiser for a couple. And so got a unique background there. And between that time of appraiser, I did a sales job and also did some marketing things. And digital marketing has really been my passion, which is why I do YouTube. It's why it's part of it, integrates into real estate. And I can go into that more later, but it really helps in the seller process, helps in the buyer process, really know what customers do when they're buying, what customers need when they're selling. And so hopefully that helps you. But with no further ado, we're going to bring Travis on. So with your silent round of applause, please welcome Travis in. Travis comes and joins us. Travis, welcome.
Hey, it's good to be here.
Good. We're happy to have you. And guys, if you are, we'd love to see in the chat. I see Iglesias, you're from Meridian. Thank you for joining us. You did say bless you. And then anyone else who's joining us, let us know if you're coming live and where you're coming from. It's always fun to see you guys. And this is going to be fueled by Travis. So please take advantage of all the questions that you have for someone who's done this before. I get questions all the time. The most random questions I get, who's your favorite mover? What should I do in terms of, storage? What should I do? Just all sorts of questions. Brian, thanks for joining us. I had an email out to you earlier today, by the way. I'm sure you responded. I've just not checked my email the last hour or so. But with no further ado, Travis, welcome. And Travis, why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself and you and your wife and what originally brought you here? And let's start there.
Yeah. Familiar with that? I knew Idaho existed prior to COVID, and then seeing some articles that it random. My wife got a job offer. It's functional medicine clinic here. I work fully remote I kind of had the flexibility to but we got the offer air.
Shoot, Trav. Okay, I think we're having some audio. Can you, in those who are watching live, can you tell us is Travis coming in choppy for you? Can you guys hear his audio? There's a delay. There's a delay when we're watching those chats come in. I'm seeing your video real clear, Travis. Why don't you just try your story again? I heard you talking about you and your wife, a job offer. Okay, Eric Strong says choppy. Thanks, Eric. Join us from good old Frisco, Texas. You should be working, buddy. Go ahead. So if it's choppy, yeah. Last time, see if you can change your internet and see if we can do this again.
Okay, let me try to.
Well, interesting. Okay. Well, I'm going to maybe I'll give some backstory to Travis. Are you trying to figure out audio right now?
Okay, I'm connected to a different one.
Okay, we'll try that. I can still have some choppy, but we'll see.
All right. About it, but me and my wife moved here. You're familiar with it. A functional medicine clinic out here. I didn't know Boise existed. Some articles that it was like a cool that people were fleeing to do everything. So I had the flexibility to kind of get my wife found a job at, and that's what you Brian via that I just looked up trying to figure out and how's the real estate market. So YouTube gave him a call and because we booked a flight job offer and that which I can expand on more.
Cool. Thank you. That is perfect. So when you came to Boise and it's something you were reading about, what was it that you were reading about Boise that attracted you? And then did those rumors turn out to be true or false?
This was the Pacific Northwest, kind of just it's a place to live. It's a great place to raise a family for the nature, outdoors. It's it's a little more mental. We were looking at the other city we were into this, and then market last summer. So Austin, just Boise was insane last summer. So just offer and then experience out in the and so yep, that's what we were doing.
Cool. I heard some of that and missed some of that. So you were comparing Boise to Austin, and Boise won out because
of the job offer, and then the market was even than it was in Boise. So that's here.
Cool. All righty. So what did you read about Boise that was true? What did you read that was false?
I can't say I read anything to be false. I think just that all the positives. But what I found to be challenging, definitely a smaller city than I thought it would be. I just assumed it would be, I don't know, kind of the city, big spread out city. It's not New York, big city. So being here a little, this is a small Treasure Valley at the end of the day. If you're coming, lived in, LA or New York. So it's definitely kind of a bubble.
Well, I'm trying to figure out the audio on the back end here. Good. So the speak to the bubble that Boise is and what you've experienced in your maybe more of your cons with Boise.
So this is what sets Boise apart. It truly is a bubble. Boise proper. So that's honestly 5 mile. Like I don't even close to Boise because in Boise and they don't leave. They don't go beyond 5 miles. Is truly there, and that makes it challenging. If you're coming from a very normal to drive 20 somebody to do a dinner, to do multiple times a day, 25 minutes. They're used to driving. Maybe that's far for them. Nampa, which is there's no traffic. Drive coming from Kansas City, I'm totally get anywhere to get everywhere. Because it's so spread out. You're driving 25 minutes to get a mile down the road. Different culture in that respect. So that's the big negative. And then when you're outside, me and my wife, we don't have kids. Beautiful, but that's all we got right now. So friends with is down there. You're constantly like not like we get out to Boise to go, but what makes it a bummer is you go on a hike, go out to dinner, but then you got to go sweaty and you got to go back out. So it just because there's not a lot to do called well. There's just not a lot to do. It's more suburban. There's a couple things, but
okay. I think we picked that up. That was good. So to summarize for the choppiness a little bit. So you're saying if you go downtown and grab dinner and you want to go home and change for whatever, or you go back down to the Boise River, it's not. You think that so your preference, Travis? I think even as a buyer when you came to town last year, was you wanted to be off of Eagle Road. Like for you guys to be at First and Main is attractive, to be a little bit to sacrifice some of that traffic so that you can go biking on the Greenbelt or float the river or go on the trails or hit bogus space or whatever it might be, hit the freeway.
Site again, we bought our as the first time buyer. It was a new shiny house that was renovations to it, and to me 25 minutes because it's what I'm used to. Sacrifice the perfect house countertops, and I love my home. Brian sold me my home, and so older kind of mid-century home in order to be a part of the it is such a great city to the river. It has the skiing, it has town. It's super awesome, distinguished from other cities. Bubble, and everything's 10 minutes away. Just want to be a part of it. If you're in my stage, kids and suburbia, I could walk to the elementary school from. I could see where you would. It would be more important to have and less.
Cool. Is there any part of being in Nampa that you actually do think is a pro compared to living in Boise?
Pro that I would define is that you can get a house, and that again, it was one of my biggest motivations to important to you, and or the newer build and or whatever, then it's not bad. Be a part of downtown if you would just really think it through. Spend more time in Boise house hunting. I made my decision 3 days. We got the job offer. I put an offer in the house July. They accepted I moved in 30 days later. The best decision on my part. I wanted it. I wanted to lock and just move straight into. So it was a learning lesson for me, but that's how it answered that question.
Cool. And for those watching, this is something that I encounter time and time again. is buyers who come to town. We met on a Saturday morning. And then I get a call on Monday, and I knew they were actively looking, but I didn't know that they were like buying. Because sometimes we'll just go out and kind of see a few homes, and sometimes we'll just see the areas. Sometimes it's, sometimes I know people they've got $800,000 in their pocket and it's got to be spent that day. I usually know those things, and for Travis and Lexi, for some reason I didn't know that we were buying 100% that weekend, and maybe you guys didn't know if we were buying that weekend or not, but it turned out that the first house we went through, that was the first house we went through, wasn't it?
No, we went to an older home in Meridian, and we
oh, that's right. That's right. Okay.
Yeah,
and so we get this home, and then just so you guys know from out of state, this is a very normal process. So you guys come, and we do homework before you come. So when we hit with Travis and Lexi, we didn't. So we made some time in a coffee shop to kind of narrow down our search, and then we go out and look. And then after we go out and look, we're on the same page, and then we can more effectively make an offer that would be, not overpaying for a house. And then while we're out there searching, we do this whole process so that we don't miss any houses that come on the market either. But just so you know, it's very, very normal. Had we not seen the house, the whole goal that I have when you guys come is that I know exactly where you're at, exactly what you're looking for, exactly what areas you're looking at, so that when I do a video tour, I can explain, hey, look, this is in the area of blank. This is where we ate lunch. This is where you said you hated that sound of the barking dog. This is, all that type of stuff. And so I've sold a house literally. We in Bridge Tower West to a couple who came, and this is for those who are watching, not for Travis necessarily, but for a couple in Bridge Towers. We ate at Panda on the corner of McMillan and 10 Mile. And I was like, hey, here's a house, or they found the house and sent it to me. I can't remember. And they're like, what's the neighborhood like? I said, oh, do you remember where we ate lunch? It's right by there, but we didn't go in the neighborhood. Did a tour with the camera. We ended up getting the house. And that's very, very normal for you guys to come, to get out and go. And it's kind of crazy that you guys can do it that fast, while at the same time take comfort, because it's quite the norm. Quite the norm that all you out-of-staters do something like that. So you said something about the traffic, and I don't know if I heard it good. Compare Boise's traffic overall to any. You've probably been to LA to visit. You obviously come from Kansas City. Seattle and LA and the Bay are obviously terrible, terrible traffic. Just kind of say maybe Denver or Kansas City or Austin, or you said you were in Atlanta the other day. Kind of compare Boise's traffic with a big city that they can maybe relate with.
Traffic here is not bad. I mean, getting on and off the on-ramp at 8 o'clock, from 3:30 to 5. That it's not crowded. As everybody knows that has been here, that gets a little congested. To me, locals that have been here a long time, the traffic gets really crazy. I think Caldwell gets a little congested, but to help bring a solution to that. But overall, man, I'm able to jump, and like I said, from North Nam, 25 minutes. And yeah, not bad.
Good. Oh, would you do anything different? Would you change your location? Because I think you would. Just you yourself, not necessarily. And you've touched on that, why you would, where you like to be. Would you do anything different with the knowledge you had at the time you bought the house? Would you change anything about the process? Would you come to Boise longer? Would you communicated something different to me? Anything? Would there have been anything different that you would have prioritized different or done different if you could go back in time?
Wouldn't feel the tumultuous. I would just on a point of an interest rate. I lose that one house that I think I misses that one again. I would just really slow, because you're in your house. A mortgage is not like I do want to move down. But now I'm right. Like I got my house for a decent house, high. There's a risk that if I want to move next summer, this home, And I did time. So I know Brian always says, and do you like the payment? Just really slow down, and to like about this house is also the location. That is that to you?
Yeah.
And that's the real estate location. That's what I would do different. Is just about it. Yep.
Cool. So you would what I gathered there is you would slow down, make sure you like the house, make sure you like the location, and just really make sure, because I do say, do you like the house? Do you like the payment? All the time. Answers a lot of questions, and I do think it's inherent in there that it's location. Like where Travis bought is close to the sugar beet factory, and when I take people there and they haven't smelt the sugar beet factory, it's a smell that will make some people move. In fact, the person who bought my house was a buyer of mine, and they were renting by the sugar beet factory, and they broke the lease 10 months early because of that smell. However, I know a friend of mine who also lives in Travis's neighborhood says the sugar beet factory is no big deal. You get used to it after about 20 minutes, and it doesn't really change life. Like everyone's so different, and so you have to form your own opinions based on your homework, your reconnaissance, and taking what I say and trying to gather with what someone like Travis is saying, or something like I'm saying, who's born and raised here, who's got a biased opinion of how great the market is, and somebody who's saying, okay, there's some cons to this place, and the guy who says I was born and raised here, don't rip on my city. Like, you've got to take everything and you've got to balance it out and make sure it fits you. 100% slow your roll, make sure it is right, but at the same time, there will never ever be. In fact, a good example, we're actually landscaping this new house. We're putting a bunch of rocks around, some boulders around the cement pad we put back there. And the landscaper, I was like, hey, can you move this one over here? And he does it. And I'm like, okay, that means, can you make it from the left, put it to the right? He does it. I can take the one from the right, but he's like, he gets out of his cat tractor. Poor guy, he was really frustrated with me. He's like, you can mess with the rocks all day long and you're never going to be happy. I was like, okay, well, I just, it's my house. I kind of wanted the rocks where I wanted them. And at some point you do have to say, like the point of the guy in the tractor, you do have to say, look, this is kind of good enough. And in the buying process, Travis, I don't know where, I always tell people, if you've got a house that's an 85 out of 100, that's checking most of those boxes, and if it checks the boxes that are the non-compromising boxes, it's a house you should consider writing an offer on. I'm not sure if you feel the same. I'll preach this all day to my buyers. If it's an 85 out of 100, that's something we should consider. Where would you draw that line for yourself? I know there's no perfect house, but you've expressed some things that you would have changed. Where's that perfect line for you? What would you consider?
Definitely a line. I would maybe build upon that. If you see a house that you feel an urgency to buy it, pressure to maybe make a decision, you're not in this house. I'm on Trulia, or I've probably seen 200 Meridian that I would love. There is no one house that like there's, and so just trusting the process and knowing that
that's good.
That you're not going to find something else is, and again, a less well. So that's good.
And it's that balance too, right? So for this example, this house, there's going to be another acreage property that pops up in maybe a better area, maybe a worse area. And you have to be patient while at the same time ready to strike when it feels right. And I would say 95, maybe 90 out of 100, everybody but the engineers, it seems like it's a lot of gut feeling, right? And the engineers even have that left brain. It's a feel. And I've had people walk into living rooms and say, this is our house, not even see upstairs, the bedrooms, anything. And some people just have that feel and that gut feel. So you do have to go off your gut feel, be patient, but at the same time, be ready to strike. Yeah, we had this issue, DN. Thanks for bringing it to our attention. We did a little pre-run and we fixed the audio, and it's just, I'm trying to summarize for you, trying to get so you can still hear what he's saying. but yeah, we're doing our best here. Not sure. I wish we could just have an easy fix, but obviously, I think Travis, you're on Zoom calls all day long, and you're no stranger to audio and your internet. So I'm not sure what's going on. He's in a good area with internet and stuff. So I actually ran my speed test while we're on here just in case it was my fault. But let's see. What a question for my self-centeredness. What made you choose me, Travis, and what was it about me online that stuck out to you? And maybe that would be something that other people watching would relate to, and something that you chose.
Yeah, no, on YouTube, and then I texted you responsive. You were on it, and then my situation that we were booking and you made it happen. You met us you kind of went through your things we should consider, and then we hit the throughout Boise, Meridian Star, and really fast, really on it, but it made it work. Yeah.
Cool. And that's that's the dream scenario. Have an open weekend like that. I've had. It's interesting you say that. I've had some people say they've called people and it's like, hey, here's a voicemail, and if you are out of state buyer, press 1. If you are calling me for an offer, press 2. It's just like, you've got to have systems and processes, but at the same time, you've got to have that personal touch. I hope I can provide that personal touch. Not everything you do, with me will be with me. I have an awesome assistant who runs like these lives, Jean's here. I have an awesome assistant here in the States. Her name is Kate. She's at a home inspection today. There's just things that I divide and conquer, but at the same time, I never want my business to be too big that it's not me you're getting. I always want you to be working with me. So compare one last thing, I think, Travis, compare cost of living if you can. 27 minutes in, so we can compare cost of living. Not a lot of questions coming through. I'm going to guess it's the choppiness, which is honestly, even with the choppiness, I've still understood what you're saying. So I hope people are still finding value in this. I bet they are. So compare cost of living compared to just Kansas City. I bet you would I be wrong in saying Kansas City and Boise are probably pretty similar?
I would say that more expensive.
Where's more expensive?
Boise, Nampa. Being out here, gas is more expensive. It's cheaper. Groceries they're more expensive. Midwest for the price, but again, you get a different lifestyle. Like it's when we go out for a hike, we go literally. We're just stunned in the sunsets and all rivers. Like you don't see clean, clear rivers in the Midwest. Awesome. You can be up at bogus skiing. I mean, it's probably not the best skiing in and it's just so quick to perfect. Like you just ski run, and it's just really anyway. Boise is just it is than I think a lot of other, and so in that respect, that's what I would say.
Cool. That's good to hear. So honest opinion there, Kansas City, the Midwest might be coming a little cheaper, but professional baseball team tickets are cheaper here than the Royals. So there's one aspect that Travis did not talk about. So I've actually been, is it still called Kauffman Stadium, by the way? I've been to Kauffman Stadium 10 times or something. I have cousins that lived in Leewood.
Lee Summit?
You heard of Leewood?
Yeah, Leewood.
Yeah,
best.
I had cousins that lived in Leewood, so we'd go visit them all the time. Travis, thank you so much for joining us. Is there anything else that you want to touch on that I didn't ask that would be beneficial?
No, Ed, I feel like I sounded a little bit of a side of Treasure Valley, but they're here. I mean, Nampa's a great, Star's beautiful. Like coming like a long way. There's some good kind of being over here. If you town, there is a lot you can take. Again, it's just at our commute downtown. That's where all of our friends, a little alien over here, come out to visit. Check out all of these and everyone's different, and love it a little bit more than we've come to. Yeah, that's what I would close with, Brian.
Cool. Actually, I'm not going to make you close with that because I have one more question for you. Because a lot of my people, I think I even told you before we hopped on, pretty conservative people. Travis, you are a very religious person. I'm a religious person. We talk religion. Actually, Travis smokes me when it comes to knowledge. He knows a ton. But speaking of just the community in general, what can you say about I get a lot of people ask me who aren't of my faith or your faith, but are, maybe Christian or whatever they are. Just say how religious is the community? What would you say to that?
Yeah, I would say the in the area and have something to offer. They're really offering it again because it's an outdoor part of church groups that aren't just like a neighbor. So it just adds a different lifestyle. But there are definitely tons. Again, if you're more new age, and has plenty to offer there. I think just adding a little humor there, but I think
we missed it. Sorry, it was too choppy. Missed it. Missed it. Okay. But this just, and we might have to do this again. And I know I've caught a good nugget. So we've actually had some good participation. I can see from all the numbers of who's on Facebook, who's on YouTube. Had some good numbers come in. And at first choppy is, I've had some people message me privately and say we had to leave, it was too choppy. But still, the numbers are still good. And we might have to do this again because Gene is actually in the background of this, trying to figure out how we can increase the audio quality. And apparently, are you using Safari? Apparently it's wrong. Apparently it's not, Safari's not the right one. So we didn't know that. So we might have to get you on Chrome next time. That's what they just said. So somehow they knew that. But I've been benefited. I hope you guys especially have been benefited. If you have any questions, I won't have you reach out to Travis. But if you ever, I have people all the time who will say as a buyer, hey, if you have anyone who wants to shoot ideas off of me, please let me know. And I know Travis would field a question from me, maybe not all 1,400 questions from you guys. I'm sure he has the intention that would be good, but that might take up the whole evening. But if you guys have any questions you ever want me to ask, real people who have moved here or some similarly minded people, please reach out. We all have our bias. And so I'm going to match my answers to my bias. So will Travis and so will others, but it's just kind of good to get that good feel and good well-rounded answer. So if you have any questions, please email me. Gene, if you don't mind putting my number and then my email, because you can always text or call. If I'm in a meeting, if you've noticed here, I don't have my phone out. If I'm in a meeting or a live or showing houses, I am 100% with that customer and I want them to have that attention. They need it. So if you do text or call, I will get back to you if I can't answer in the moment. And emails, especially, I for sure answer. I check my email a few times a day, and then sometimes before I go to bed at night, but I try to keep those some prompt on all of that. So if you need me, 208-213-2092 or brian@brianheims.com. And yes, don't forget to subscribe. As videos come, you can be notified. We're trying to do more videos. For those who don't know, I had a leg injury in June and I am still recovering, still don't have surgery yet. And so we've had a lot less content being put out, but we've still been able to do lives. So I hope you find value in this. Anything else before we go, Travis? Okay. You've been awesome. Thank you. Yes, it's good seeing you too. We'll do lunch again soon. And next one is October 18th at 7 p.m. Mountain, at 6 p.m. Pacific for all you West Coasters who would be joining us. And maybe that would be 8 o'clock for the Kansas Cityans. How do you say, what do they call it? Kansas Citytonians. Midwesterns. And but thanks for taking your time. This is 100% give from Travis. So I sincerely appreciate it. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.